Hey there, my fellow film activists and any newbies. Wellness coach Cathy here, and today we're in our wellness playlist. We are talking about the pillar of mental fitness, and we are specifically sharing why PQ isn't the same as gray rocking. So, anyone new here, you're like, what the heck is PQ? Well, I'm going to show you right now. So, if you're safe, feel free to close your eyes. But we are going to go into our positive quotient repetitions, or PQ reps. So, it can be sitting, standing, walking, but if you're going to close your eyes, keep them open if you're walking and driving. So, go ahead and you're going to close your eyes. No matter what, though, I want you to have a nice tall spine. Roll the shoulders back. You always want to have a nice open chest, okay? All right, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead, take two fingers, and start to rub the fingertips together. And rub with such intention and curiosity that you can feel your fingertip ridges. Maybe you can feel your fingerprints. What sensations do you feel? Now go ahead and bring your palms together. This time, go ahead and rub all the fingertips together. What sensations are you experiencing? Are you creating friction? Go ahead and move one set of fingers down the palm of the other. What are you feeling? What are you noticing? Now go ahead and take one palm in front of you and just go ahead and gaze at it with curiosity and awe, if you're able. What do you notice about your beautiful palm, your hand? What is new about it? Don't be afraid to let your hand act out. But just notice. If you've never ever noticed your hand, consider this your first of many. And with that, you can go ahead and, if your eyes were closed for any reason, go ahead and open them now. That is what we call positive quotient repetitions, or PQ reps. So if you were a little bit flustered before we started the PQ session, hopefully now you feel a little bit less flustered. Alrighty, and that moves us right into what our topic is. So this is our wellness playlist, and we talk about the 5 pillars. In this case, we're talking about mental fitness pillar, and the topic is PQ is not gray rocking. And so for anyone who's not familiar with the term gray rocking, you can look it up right now if you want, Google it. I am not a um, mental health professional licensed, so to speak. Um, but gray rocking, okay, is something very useful to anyone who is dealing with someone with narcissistic um, tendencies. And all of us, since 2015, whether you want to admit it or not, have been in an abusive relationship, not only from 2015 on because of a certain uh, being, because I do not consider the Cheeto even human. But let's just face it, living in the US, with all the gaslighting that has happened over the centuries, we have been in an abusive relationship for as long as the country existed, right? So with that said, gray rocking. Gray rocking is a actual mental fitness tool, okay, mental health tool, and it is such where you are if you are presenting in front of, okay, anyone who's narcissistic or deems you a target of any way. Gray rocking is a simple tool where you show no emotion. All you let's say unfortunately, this happens a lot when divorced parents have to, exchange their children, so to speak, right? And maybe one is narcissistic. The opposite, who is not narcissistic, gets to gray rock, meaning they are going to give non-emotional answers to every single question or communication between the two of them. So the narcissistic spouse will use haughty language, and try to get a rise, literally, out of the other person. But the other person, gray rocking, is simply going to stick to short, factual statements, preferably yes or no type answers. And they are showing no emotion on purpose. It's a boundary that they're keeping. The last thing that anyone wants to give a narcissistic interaction is more energy. The more emotion you show, the more energy that other person is going to get. And they're going to use that to amplify their narcissistic tendencies. With that said, when I was in my training, which I'm going with becoming a PQ coach, but sometimes, I was in a situation where I would worry. I'm like, I'm so calm these days through my PQ coaching or, my own personal training that I found myself that I didn't have heightened emotions in the long term. And I start to worry. I'm like, what if I don't have any emotions left because my nervous system is so regulated? Don't worry, that really can't happen. But the question was brought up, and I think I even might have brought it up in certain trainings. Is gray rocking, the same as PQing? And they are not. One's not better than the other. In fact, both can be used together to create a better experience for the person using the gray rocking. So PQ in itself is not meant to try to devoid someone of emotions. No, no, no. Quite the opposite. We want to feel emotions, and even the emotions that we dislike because they're deemed bad, no emotion is good, bad, or otherwise. An emotion is just a human experience. We are all very great. We should be grateful that we have, the ability to feel emotions. What happens though is that our emotions, which, believe it or not, usually dissipate, and technically, the chemicals that create those emotions, they go away in most cases after like 90 seconds. So for 90 seconds, you can let yourself get hijacked by your emotions, and it's perfectly okay because the chemicals literally are just still like floating in your body. But after that 90-second mark, and actually after 10 seconds, once your body signals to your brain or your brain signals to your body back and forth, right? Okay, there's something going on. After 10 seconds, pain is no longer necessary, but we still feel pain, right? Depending on what the situation is. Like if you were to have your hand over a hot stove, which is one of the interesting little examples we always give in our training for PQ. But the closer you get to the hand to the stove, right, the hotter it's going to get. It doesn't take but a millisecond for your hand to realize, and your brain saying, you need to take your hand away from the stove, right? Same situation when it comes to any emotion, okay? After the emotion is experienced, the only reason why you keep feeling it is because you choose to. You could literally decide, okay, I'm going to calm my nervous system down. Thus, with the PQs, however you want to, experience those. Whereas gray rocking in itself literally is you focusing on not showing emotion for obvious reasons and for safety, right? The less emotion you put up as a boundary between you and that narcissistic individual, the better off you're going to be. PQ reps aren't meant to try to take away your emotions. They're simply there to help you regulate them. Big difference. Now, can they be used together? Absolutely. Let's say that same scenario that a couple that has now divorced and they have, children together, and now they're in that, very awkward situation where they're having to exchange their kids, right? the one spouse is going to use gray rocking, but before they even gray rock, they're in their, safe space of the car or wherever they are at. And maybe both them and the children are PQing because PQing preps your body again, preps your nervous system to stay neutral when necessary. So they then go through their PQ reps and then they come in contact with the other, the parent, who unfortunately is going to use narcissistic tendencies to elevate their situation. But the other spouse, who just practiced PQing, is now going to use gray rocking to stop any possible energy exchange. So they have helped their nervous system stay regulated. And in this very tense moment, right, the gray rocking is what keeps their nervous system at that base level. That should make a lot of sense. And I say that because too many times, again, we use the excuse that, oh, I was angry and that's why I went off the rails. Guess what? You can get angry, but it's your choice that keeps you angry. The PQs help you make that decision faster. I'm not going to stay angry. It's not helpful. Again, it takes less than 10 seconds for your body to realize that something is wrong. And once the emotion starts, it's not necessary. It's alerted the body and the brain simultaneously, hey, this is going on. Now, of course, obviously, if you're in a very life or death situation, you're going to add in adrenaline, uh, tons of cortisol. Like you're going to need to get busy on whatever is happening. But in the instance where, again, you know that you're going to come face to face with someone who you otherwise don't want to, using your PQ reps help to keep your emotions neutral because then when you come in front of them, you're going to gray rock. So they work in tandem. They can work literally quite beautiful together, but they're not one and the same. And they're not trying to, and gray rocking in itself is not meant to like try to always have you gray rock. You're only gray rocking as a means to an end, meaning when I have to be in front of someone who I know is narcissistic, I get to protect myself. And that's pretty much it. So, if you want to learn how you can master not only your nervous system regulation, but your own emotions, I can help you there. Meanwhile, I always like to mention that at the end of every month, you can come here and I have a 12 p.m. PT free live yoga session and or clinic. I'd love to have you there. Until next time, take care and take charge.